Hey, and welcome back to Trak. Today, we're going to look at some expenses and adding expenses to your jobs and projects. So, in your Trak account, obviously, you've got the ability to capture expenses on every single job. So, when you open a job up in the system, you should be able to see everything that's been converted into an expense from your expenses tab here. Now, a couple of things about expenses, depending on how you're using Trak. If you are using Trak and you're linking it to Xero or QuickBooks or MyOb or somewhere else, you can choose to push your expenses there automatically as well. It is entirely up to you how you use that within your system. Okay. Now, the first thing that we want to do to make sure that our expenses are ready to go, we want to make sure that we've got all of our suppliers in the Trak account and we've got all of your expense accounts in the Trak account. So let's have a look at where we're going to set those up. They're once again going to be under your settings. All of our settings are under your name in the top right of the platform. Now, when we go to people, we'll see that we've got our supplier list here. When we create or import suppliers into the system, obviously you can create them here manually. If you need to import supplier lists, there is the ability to import supplier lists from your company settings and your data management import export. So once your suppliers have been set up and they're managed in the system, that's part one. Part two is to just make sure that you're pushing your expenses to the right areas. Now, some people will link this to Xero or QuickBooks or MyOb and it will sync across the general ledger codes so that this will automatically be set up. For those people who are not syncing accounting packages, you'll need to have somewhere to put it, whether it's under materials or labor or subcontractors or tipping fees or whatever it is. That will be set up in your finance settings under expense accounts. So from here, you can either sync them or you can create them. So it might be, materials and it's going to be a code, whatever it's going to be. Once again, whether it's synced or whether it's set up manually, it is up to you. Okay, so nice and easy in the way that works. If you need to edit or manage any of these, three dots on the right, you can edit, manage, delete, and away you go. Okay, now let's go back and have a look at a job. So in the Trak account, how are we going to get expenses into the system? Now, number one way that people are getting expenses, so they're reconciling a bank statement or reconciling a portal or something similar to that. So they might have it up on one screen and then they're creating the expenses in their Trak account to tick off their credit card or tick off a statement or something similar. Now, you do not have to create an expense in every single job individually. So if you are reconciling something online, the way that I would do it is from your finances tab, click on expenses. This will give you an overview of all your expenses, but you can create expenses from here. Nice and simply, you choose the job. You might have a description, might be your invoice number. Then you might choose your supplier. Then you might choose the account that you want it to go to. And then you've got your due dates, amounts of money. It will pick up GST if you're putting in the totals. You might want to upload a copy of the file. That's fine. And then if you're reconciling it, you might add another expense. And it might be for a different job. And it might be for a different docket number. And then you can go so on and so forth and just add your expenses to the system. When you're done, just press add and it will add those expenses to all the jobs you want. If you've got it synced to your accounting package, it will push it to your accounting package. So this is for people who are reconciling from a system. So for a lot of bookkeepers or admin staff or business owners who are working at an office level or at home at night and they're reconciling expenses. The other way that people will add an expense is on the road. They go to a wholesaler or they go to a supplier and they get a docket and they want that thing on the job straight away, which is a great way to do it so you're not doing it in your own time. Now, to do this, once again, you can do it from your expenses tab at the top, but most people will do it in the job. Just go to your job that you want and then just choose your expenses tab and then just press create. Okay, same field, you can put in the details. Once again, you'll see here it's got a files tab. You can take a photo of the docket, you can upload it here, and then you can add it to the system. Once again, it will then send it through to your accounting package if you need to. So expenses can be added manually in bulk, or they can be added manually at job level, nice and easy in the way that works. The third way that people will be adding an expense to the Trak platform. If you have a invoice that comes in via email, lots of people will forward that in to your Trak account, and it will come into your inbox in your Trak account. So you can have your emails or expenses forwarded into the platform to your inbox. So this means that you'll be able to see your invoices coming into the system. Okay, so nice and easy in the way that that works. You'll be able to look at the details of it. You'll be able to see the attachments or something similar. You know, if this was an expense with all your products and details on it, no worries. And then from here, you would be able to create it as an expense by clicking the three dots on the right, create expense. It'll open up your expense tab and fill it in. It'll grab the docket and automatically add it to the job as well. So there are multiple areas that you can add expenses to the job. Okay. If you've got a reply coming back into an email automatically as well, once again, you can do it in the same space. If you've got an email in a job, you've got a detail of it, three dots on the right, create an expense. It'll open up your expense tab. It'll add a copy of the docket. You can choose the details, create the expense. It'll add this as a detail to it. So nice and easy in the way that it works. You can create expenses in lots of areas so that you are capturing all of this information on your account. You can see a detailed overview of this as well in Trak. So when you go to your details tab on any job, you can see in the middle of the page there is a finance summary. This finance summary is capturing all this information all the time. So when you look at your job and you start looking at what's been quoted, what's been invoiced, you look at your expenses, you look at your timesheet costs, all of this is being captured in the middle of the page. So you can see here that you've got what's been quoted and approved. You can see what's been invoiced. You can see what's been what your profit is. You can see what your costs are, and it gives you an idea of how the job is tracking in real time. Okay, this picks up all of your details that are associated to your expenses. Now, the final space that you might be creating an expense from is a purchase order or material order that you have already created in Trak. So in the Trak account, when you've got a material order that's been created and you've got it in the system here, you might have multiple products that have been added or a supplier that's been set up in the system. In your Trak account, you will be able to see the details associated to this. And then from there, you'll be able to convert that into an expense as well. So nice and simple in the way that that works. You can save that detail. If I delete that line item. So from here, you'll be able to have a material order that's been sent out of the system. And then from there, you'll be able to convert it into an expense as well. So you've got a material order, you've sent it to a store, you receive your invoice back, you'll be able to match your material order number to the amount of money that was on the order. From there, you'll be able to click the three dots and you'll be able to convert it into an expense. You can choose where do I want it to go. You can choose what the details are for it. You can choose the due date that this is meant to be paid. And then from here, you can add that expense to the job. Okay, so nice and easy. That will convert it into an expense. You'll be able to see your expenses on the job. You'll be able to see a copy of the details. It will then push it into your accounting package if you're choosing to link that. Okay, so nice and easy in the regards to the way that that works. You've got expenses, you've got purchase orders, you've got invoices that are coming into the system. You can choose to reconcile them in lots of different ways. If you need help in setting this up, if you need more information on how you can streamline this process, please feel free to reach out to us at contact@trak.co. Alternatively, you can reach out through our support bubble in the bottom right-hand corner. We look forward to helping you out further in the future, and thank you for choosing Trak.